The square is inherently a challenge. And so this new moon square to Mars and Leo is saying, like, where are you not owning your leadership? Where are you not singing your voice out loudly because you're scared of judgment, of what people will say about you? Where are you not being in your creative genius? Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro forecast for the week of April 21st to the 27th. This is a very potent week of energy. So now we have Mercury moving forward. Venus is slowly moving forward. She's not quite in a huge momentum, but we are feeling the energy totally shifting. And we've already in Taurus season now, so that's grounding the energy into slow, steady momentum. But this week, there's going to be some groundbreaking shifts. And you're like, probably at this point thinking, when am I just going to have an easy week? This is a year of massive shifts. We are birthing a new paradigm. So we are going to have some lighter ones coming up. This is not that week. And when we have these kinds of weeks, this is a really important time for you to make sure that you are grounded, that you are meditated, that you are hydrated, that you are really looking after your energy, because it is going to be a time of shifts. And you can already feel that, I'm sure, in your life. There is been, I know a lot of people around me who are going through some massive changes right now. So it's a time now to really be aware of how you're feeling on the inside and notice how can you really shore up yourself so that if something is to come your way, you're ready. And if nothing comes your way and your astrology is feeling light and productive and super flowy right now, fantastic. So let's get started. So on Monday, April 21st, we start off in a fourth quarter moon phase of the moon. So the moon is at losing light. It is getting rid of things that it's no longer necessary, needed. And it's in Aquarius. That's going to give us some support this week because it means thinking through your feelings. It's about processing how you are feeling. So it's not inherently feely, moon. It's a placement of really thinking through an emotional intelligence. What are your emotions speaking to you now? An Aquarius moon can dismiss emotions and just try to think it through, and we're not trying to bypass our emotions. So this week, notice where you're bypassing your emotions and what are some ways that you can help yourself process them. So on our first aspect this week is on Wednesday, April 23rd, and it's the Sun square to Pluto. This is a very intense energy. So the sun represents our vitality, our identity. It's the way we're shining our light. And it's in Taurus right now, which is a fixed earth sign. And Pluto is in Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign. So this can be a lot of fixity. Fixity means stubborn, determined, willpower, right? That's a good thing, in life. So this energy could help you move through something that's really tough. This could be like fortifying your energy to try to move through something. But more times than not, this is about a power struggle. A transformation is trying to come about. And when something is transforming, it means something has to die away and something has to form in its place, right? So there's this, inherently humans don't love transformation. Let's be honest, right? We're like, I just want to stay the same forever. And, I mean, as a soul, your soul's like, look, we didn't come here for that. So this can trigger hidden fears, force some necessary changes. The key here is to release resistance, embrace transformation with grace. So we're going to be really seeing this in the collective right now. We are headed in for an election in Canada. The US is going through some major shifts in policy and international relationships and all things. So this is a time now to really be grounded in your energy and noticing what is trying to move, what is trying to shift, what are you attached to that's bringing you suffering or maybe making you angry. And, it's not a time now to release the anger or detach from all that. It's really to find your way through in terms of like, what are your values? Venus just came out of retrograde. So it's now like you're shored up in your values. What do you really get behind, as your value system and your ethics? This is a time now, this is going to bring up activism. We're seeing a lot of terrible things happening in the world. And what we really don't want to do is go into a shell and turtle and then feel like none of this actually relates to me. Because when it does become your issue, because it'll come to your doorstep, you don't want to be like, where's everyone for me? Because you didn't show up for anybody else. So this is an energy of activism with capacity. So you must have capacity to do so. If you're feeling depleted or you're going through things in your own life, please take care of yourself then, for sure, right? It might not be the time of activism for you, and other people can step forward to do that. One of the things that I've been really discovering in my life is that I don't have to be the one to hold it for everyone, that there are others coming in to hold it with me. And when I don't have capacity, I can step back and others can step in to take that. But if you're always stepping back because you don't want to ruffle feathers or you don't want to make people upset, then you're really compromising your values. And if you stand for nothing, then who's going to stand for you when it's your turn? So really pay attention to that this week. Thursday, April 24th, we have Venus conjunct Saturn. So this combined with that energy of the Sun square Pluto, this is really about relationships and being responsible in your relationships. Are your responsibilities, are the things that you're standing up for, are they aligning with your values? And it's in Pisces. So this is a really feeling like, are you standing up for your dreams? Are you standing up for your ethics? Are you being compassionate and empathetic? Or are you judging everybody? This is not that moon in Aquarius can make us a little righteous, this week. And we're all in this humanity. We're all in this soup together and we're all wanting to be safe. We all want things for ourselves, but we come at it through different lenses, through different experiences and histories and lineages. So we want the same things, but we have different perspectives on those things. So that's why we go for different political parties. That's why we go for different policies. And when we start to sit down and listen to each other and think that the other person is smart too, even though they're going for the other party, even though they are a supporter of somebody that you're not, there's a reason why they are. And I think it's so interesting to notice that, because what I've noticed in everyone I've talked to on this is that they're so hopeful, and they're hopeful that this person is going to do the thing. And we don't actually know until like they're in it. And then even when they are in it, there can be grief and disappointment that they didn't come through on their promises and they just said something to get into the office and then realized later it didn't all come together. And that can be also in personal life. Spirit just said this is also in the macro, in the micro, right? As within, so without. What's happening in your life is also being reflected out into the collective too. We're not just going through things isolated. We all are going through similar things, but in different ways, if you will. There's themes here. So on Thursday, April 24th, Venus conjunct Saturn in Pisces, a serious reflective energy in relationships and finances arise. This aspect asks for commitment, maturity, and responsibility in love and money matters. While it may bring emotional heaviness, it also supports long-term stability. So this is about making choices that are going to benefit you in the long term. This is also saying that the stock market is going to be a little bit, hard to navigate here, as Venus is still not in her true forward momentum just yet. So This Venus and Saturn together is saying be very wise with your decisions right now, financial decisions, stay the long game. Really think about, these fluctuations in the market, especially if you're an investor or you have, RSPs or social security, they're going to iron out. In the long run, they're going to iron out. So just stay the course. Don't, try to ride it, try to pull out your money because you're scared. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not a certified financial planner, so there's that, liability clause, but this is about being responsible to the long game. So, what does that look like for you in your relationships, in your money, in the way that you use your resources? Attention. What are you giving your attention to, and is it really benefiting you? Then Saturday, April 26th, we have Mars opposite Pluto. So anytime we have an opposition, we have sort of a tug of war, if you will, but we actually are trying to find the balance point. So Mars is our egoic will to move forward, and he is in Leo, a fire sign right now. He's raring to go. He's wanting to be noticed. He's wanting to do things and create and be his own master. And then Pluto is about death, rebirth, and transformation. So in Aquarius, this is about the collective, right? We're going through a collective dark night of the soul right now as we are noticing the inequalities in the world, in the people who have privilege and the people who have power. Those are all Plutonian words. And with Mars opposite, this is a fight. This can be violence. This is a very powerful, intense transit, bringing about conflicts, power struggles, and deep transformation. Again, transformation is something has to fall away, something has to be let go of so something new can come in. So what is that in your life? Where do you feel the power struggles in your life? Maybe it's within you where you feel like one part of you wants to try something new and go on an adventure, and another part of you is scared as F to make any new changes because what if everything goes to shit in the world? What if the financial markets all fall apart? Like, can I actually follow my dream and go teach English as a second language somewhere and allow myself to have that experience and know that maybe I can have a little safety net in that in some way, that if I do come back and that doesn't work out, that I can find an apartment and have enough money for my down payment and my rent and whatever. It's how can you figure this out for yourself to create some safety, but yet also chase your dreams and not let that go. Because I will tell you, if you take your last breath tomorrow, you will have regrets that you held yourself back from doing the thing that you wanted to do. For what? Right? For what? So, yes, you have to have safety too. And how can you create a plan moving forward that you can have both? So, this is a powerful, intense transit that can bring conflicts, power struggles, and deep transformation. There can be an external opposition or an internal battle between personal will and collective forces. So, this can also manifest as people like it's revolutionary energy. This is, people getting mad at government, protesting. So, really watching for that in your own life and where it's coming up for you. And then on Sunday, April 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus at 7 degrees of Taurus at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This beautiful new moon is bringing in energy of fresh starts in terms of financial security, self-worth, and our values. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is about our values. What do you value? Taurus likes nice things. It likes to invest in the future, things that are going to stay the test of time. And this new moon in Taurus is spicy. And it's spicy because it is square to Pluto opposite Mars. So we call it a T square. So we've got Mars in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius, and then squaring both those planets, so it's kind of like a T, is the new moon in Taurus. And this energy is it's meant to move anything out of your life that is no longer serving you, that's holding you back from your dreams, that you had once invested in and thought maybe this was what my path was supposed to be. Here was what I thought I was supposed to go and do. And it's not anymore, right? We often, as humans, like to hold on to things long past their shelf life. And this is going to help you to see what is now stale or maybe even rotting in your life, because it's no longer, you can no longer move forward with creating longevity and joy aligned happiness with these things that you have committed to of the past. So the square is inherently a challenge. And so this new moon square to Mars and Leo is saying, like, where are you not owning your leadership? Where are you not singing your voice out loudly because you're scared of judgment, of what people will say about you? Where are you not being in your creative genius because you think, well, these people don't know me this way, or who are people, what are people going to think about me? Like, think about, again, if you took your last breath today, are you going to be so happy that you thought so much about what everybody else thought of you? They're going to go on in their lives and live their life, and here you are, right, have diminished your voice, have decided not to go for the thing because you were so worried about what everyone thinks. Really, everyone's worried about what they don't, what people think of them. No one really gives a crap about you and what your choices are. And if they do, there's two things about that. One is that you're reminding them of where they didn't get choices or didn't make choices in their life that aligned for them. Or two is that they're so attached to you not growing because they're scared they're going to lose you. And you get to take people on that journey with you. This is not about leaving people behind. This is about inviting people to come on the journey. And if they're not ready, then they're not ready. And that's okay. And then the square to Pluto is very much about breaking ground. It's transformation, right? It's death and rebirth. What is dying away now so you can truly step into what you value, about creating a life that really means something to you from your soul level, not because you think it means something to someone else. And that can be a relationship, because Venus rules relationship. It can be where you've been spending your money, is where you think that you're attached to something and you've got to give money to be part of that. And sometimes we have value from spending money to, I've spent money to be in proximity to people that I have loved and love spending time with. And I've realized sometimes I got to pull that back and be in my own proximity to realize where I want to be and who I want to be with. It doesn't mean that I'll never be with them again, but I've really learned something from being in that proximity. And sometimes I'm still aligned with that. Like, I've been with my coach now in some form or fashion since 2019 because she is amazing, right? She changes lives. She sees things in me that sometimes I have a hard time seeing in myself. And she's always bang on. And she's so hella psychic. She won't say that out loud, but I see that in her. So, all this to say is there's a tension between what we desire and what needs to transform. So maybe this desire there's something in our lives that's meaning to transform to get us where we want to go. And we think we desire this thing. And it's like, this is really asking you, what do you actually desire? Where are you really wanting to go in your life? And what holds you back from that? So the intention that you set now will come to light of new understanding at the next full moon in Taurus on November 5th, 2025. So whatever intention you set now, you can think about what's going on in your life right now and what are you desiring for yourself, and put that on the calendar for November 5th, 2025, and see where you come at that time. What has happened for you in this area of your life, in this theme of your life, because this is a 6-month cycle from new moon to full moon, and then another 6-month cycle from full moon back to new moon of the same sign. So we flow with these cycles in our lives so we can see how it works for us. This is why I love astrology so much. There's predictable cycles in play. And the way that it plays out for you will be unique to your chart, where Taurus sits in your chart, and the things that are going on in your life right now. So, and also where Venus sits in your chart, because Venus rules Taurus. So we get a little bit more nuanced in astrology with that. And it's all divinely perfect. Wherever you're sitting now, whatever you're dealing with, whatever, maybe you're dealing with something that's really expansive right now and you have big opportunities coming into your life. That is it. That's the energy of this new moon, breaking apart anything that's stagnating you, anything that's been holding you back from that. And if you're attaching to those things that have been stagnating you, and your identity is some of those things that are ready to fall away, then that can feel like suffering. So notice what that feels like for you. And you have a choice in every matter. You have free will. You are a dynamic, powerful soul having this human experience. Never forget how powerful you truly are. You get to create your reality. You get to change your perspective, and you get to see everything is happening in divine order for you. How now can you move through anything that feels painful and stuck so that you can embrace what's on the other side? That's why I love grief counseling so much, because it is so transformative. I know on the other side, when clients find me, how they find me and how they leave me are just, It's so different. It's like their light has transformed. It is turned on. They are ready to take on the world. It is some of the most soul-filling work that I could have ever hoped to do in this lifetime. So if you need that work, please message me or contact a grief counselor that you know, and you're not doing this work alone. Okay. So if you've done that in your past and you have hyper independence as one of the wounds of your childhood, this is going to ask you to start to lean on community, to call in support, because we're not meant to do this work alone. You are not meant to do this in isolation. And that was something that you learned. That was a belief. It's not truth. Okay. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is Shetell Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legal ease that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of Shetell Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.